Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Wrecking Ball, Chapter 1. March, Sunday. I've read that in ancient times they used to bury kings and pharaohs of all their possessions. Back then, I guess they thought you could take your things with you into the afterlife. Well, if I get buried with all my junk, I might really regret it later on. Mom's having me do some spring cleaning to get rid of things I don't need. Well, that seemed like a good idea until I realized just how much stuff I've actually got. Toss. I spent the whole morning going through my closet, and it's crazy how much was packed in there. And it's not like it was organized or anything. I've basically been throwing things in my closet since we first moved in. Chuck. Digging through my closet was like going through my childhood. And the farther back I went, the further back in time it took me. The stuff near the front of the closet was all junk I tossed in there over the past year, like homework assignments and comic books. But after I got those things out of the way, I started finding stuff I forgot about. I found a model rocket I got for my 10th birthday and the costume I wore for Halloween a few years ago. And there was a bunch of other things I didn't even know I still had. When I dug a little deeper, I found something I thought I'd lost years ago. It was a binder full of stickers collected in the 3rd grade. Stickers, moo. I used to be obsessed with stickers, especially the scratch and sniff kind. I collected all the good smells, like bubblegum and cotton candy and that sort of thing. But I had all the really gross ones too. So when a kid on my street wanted to know what giraffe poop or rotten meat floats smelled like, they'd come to me. Sniff. One of these days, I'm going to write my autobiography, and it's going to include scratch and sniff stickers to mark all the moments, different moments in my life. And that's when I realized I had stepped in dog poop. Scratch here. I kept digging through my closet and found stuff from kindergarten, like a fish I made by tracing my hand on a piece of construction paper. I used to love doing arts and crafts back then. And if anyone ever tried to bully me about it, they'd get a face full of glitter. Whoosh, cough, cough. Another project I found in my closet was a gift I made for my mom in preschool, but never gave her. It was a paper file with a picture of my face in the middle, glued to a popsicle stick. When I made the thing, I put it in a little clay pot filled with dirt, but I tripped on the front step when I got home from school that day, and that's why I never gave it to her. I was kind of glad when I reached the back of my closet, but to be honest, I was a little disappointed too. When I was younger, I read this book about these kids who could visit a whole different world by going through their closet, and I always wondered if I might be able to do the same thing with mine. But I thought that whoever lived on the other side might not be too happy with me for tossing all my junk in there over the years. When I told Mom I was done emptying my closet today, she said I needed to put everything into 3 piles, one to keep, one to donate, and one to throw away. But I figured if I was going to let go of any of my junk, I might as well make some money off of it. So I decided to have a yard sale. Mom thought that was a great idea, so she gave me a magazine that had all sorts of tips of how to do it right. Family Frolic, throw an epic yard sale. Books, toys, 50 hot tips plus trip. All the ideas in the magazine were corny and old-fashioned, though. There was one section of how to create a sign to get people to come to your yard sale, and all the examples they showed were really boring. Cool stuff. Sale. Look, yard sale. This way. Yard sale, Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. I knew that if I wanted people to actually show up to my yard sale, I needed to do something a little more eye-catching. So I whipped up a sign I knew that would do the trick. $100 bill, found on sidewalk. Please come to 12 Surrey Street to claim your property. I made a few copies of my sign and headed out to post them around the neighborhood, but Mom stopped me before I got out the front door. Mom made me make signs that were more like the ones in the magazine. After I was finished, I stapled them to some telephone poles on our street, and then I hauled down from my bedroom and started setting it out on some plastic tables. Each table had its own category, like clothes and books and that kind of thing, but stuff wasn't easy to categorize, so I had to get creative. I had a bunch of kits from my grandparents and older relatives that I never even touched. So I put all those things together in one table. Great gifts for your grandkid. I also made a bunch of birthday cards that were still in pretty good shape, so I used them white out to cover my name and set them out on their own table. Happy B-Day, happy birthday, hip, hip, ho, hooray! To a terrific grandson. Pre-written birthday cards. Just add money. I put all my broken toys on another table and hoped some little kids who couldn't read would come to the yard sale. Fun toys. You break it, you buy it. I stuffed all my random items like marbles and a few pencil stubs into some tube socks and thumbtacked them into a table. Mystery socks. What's inside? I also created a table full of things for people who had money to burn. Rare items. Serious buyers only. Vampire bat shield. Invisibility lotion. Freckle remover. I put all my old arts and crafts projects on their own table, just in case some kids needed a gift for their parents but didn't want to put in the time. Quality arts and crafts. When I finished up, Mom came outside to check out my yard sale. She seemed pretty impressed, but she said I should hold on to the stuff I made myself, since that stuff is really special. I told Mom if she wanted something, she could always buy it herself, so she offered me $3 for the paper flower I made for her in preschool. Mom seemed pretty eager to have that thing, and I could tell it was worth more than $3 to her. So I told Mom it was all hers for 10. I guess I pushed my luck though, because she went back inside without buying anything. While I waited for customers to show up, I started getting a little nervous. I realized all my stuff was just lying out in the open, and I had no way to stop people from stealing it. So I called my best friend, Raleigh Jefferson, and asked him to come down and be my thief prevention officer. But Rowley said he was supposed to do something with his dad this afternoon, so he couldn't help me with the yard sale. I told him I'd promote him to go to the thief prevention manager, and I'd even get up to wear a badge. Luckily, that did the trick. As soon as Rowley got to my house, he started asking about the badge. All I could find was my old firefighter costume, but that seemed to make him feel important. Rowley asked what he was supposed to do as the theft prevention manager. I said that mostly he needed to walk around and crack his knuckles to make sure nobody got any funny ideas. But Rowley wasn't paying attention to my instructions because he got distracted by a table that had a bunch of birthday gifts he got me over the year. I'm pretty sure Rowley's mom picks out my presents, since they're always things that help you learn, and they're all still in mint condition because I haven't actually opened any of them. Science lab. Smart fun for bright young minds. I don't know what made Rowley matter, the fact that I was selling this stuff or the sign I put on the table. Gifts for nerds. Rowley said I couldn't sell those things because they were gifts. I told him they were mine, and I could do whatever I wanted with them. And then we got into a big tug of war over the magnet fun set. Gifts for nerds, science lab, magnet fun. That's when our first customer started to arrive. I told Rowley we could argue about this later, but for now we needed to act like professionals. At first, a few people showed up, but after a while, a lot more came, and they started checking out my stuff. I went to sales mode. This craftsmanship of the porcupine is remarkable. Quality arts and crafts. One lady seemed interested in a collector coin I gotten from my uncle, but she complained that it was dented. So I talked fast and told her the reason it was dented was because it stopped a bullet in World War II. Ching! She didn't seem to believe me though, probably because the coin was dated last year. I spent a lot of time trying to close that deal, and I started worrying that people were stealing behind my back. Unfortunately, my thief prevention manager was totally useless because he was busy playing with the magnet set. Gift for nerds, magnet fun, science lab. I told Rowley he'd better start doing his job or he was going to get fired. But Rowley said it wasn't a real job anyway because he wasn't getting paid. I explained that I hadn't sold anything yet and I didn't have any money to pay him with. So when he said he was leaving, I told him he could pick one item from my table and that could be his payment. Riley seemed pretty excited about the idea, and I thought for sure he'd choose the magnet set, but he suited straight for the rare items table instead. I explained that those things were for paying customers only, and that maybe he'd be interested in something from the fun toys table, but Rowley wouldn't even budge. Eventually, he settled on the vampire bat shield, and I was okay with that because it was really just a broken umbrella. But now Rowley was so worried about bats that he couldn't concentrate on his job. While Rowley was fooling around with this stupid umbrella, I thought I saw a Gothic action figure from the collectible table and stuffed it in his pocket. So I ran over to deal with him. But the only thing in the guy's pocket were some used tissues and car keys. I was glad I was staying alert though, because I headed off a major disaster. A pickup truck alongside of the curb guy from Worley Street started peeling my stuff into the back dump. I asked him what he was doing, and he said that since tomorrow was trash day, he thought the stuff by the curb was up for grabs. I didn't have time to explain the concept of a yard sale to this guy because all of a sudden I had an even bigger problem to deal with. It started to rain and everyone was heading back to their cars. I was worried I might never get this many people to come to a yard sale again. So I wanted to sell something and to make it all the effort worth it. So I went around and marked down the prices on each item. Then it really started raining, and I knew I was going to have to do something drastic. I threw a bunch of stuff into boxes and even offered bigger discounts. By then, it was too late. Anyway, $3, all yours for $10. Everything in this box for $12. I knew if I didn't get my stuff inside, it was going to get ruined. So I asked Raleigh to keep his umbrella over my most valuable items while I ran else into the garage. But Raleigh wasn't helping at all. He said his shift has just ended and it was time for him to go home. So I was on my own. I tried carrying a box of comic books into the garage, but by now the box was soggy and the bottom gave out. Comic. Bloosh. It took me about 100 trips to get everything into the garage, but I probably shouldn't even have been bothered because most of my stuff was already ruined. I figured I could still make one deal though. I told Mom that paper flower was all for hers for $3. Unfortunately, then she changed her mind. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. Bye.